chapter, development. Students, you have already studied about the topics that how the people have different developmental goals. And when we talk about the development goals, we have seen that the people of different circumstances and situation and of different classes, they have different goals. And we have seen in the last video that different people, their aspirations, their needs, their demands, they vary from person to person. So that means every individual has the different goals. So when we are talking about the goals, students, in the last video you have already studied about how the people of the tribal sections of the people, forest community people, how they were protesting against the rising the height of the Sardar Sarovar Dam. So students, you can see here we have already discussed the topic, and we have already seen the second topic, that how income is a major component for the survival and the development of an individual, for the society and for the country as a whole. So when we talk about the income and the other goal, we have already discussed that money is materialistic thing, and the other aspects of life, they are also equally important with the money. So money, if you have, you can buy all the essential things that you need for your survival, but there are other things are also required to live a better life and to live a better quality life, not the quantity life, to live a better quality life. So students, in the last chapter, in the last topic, you have already discussed, we have already discussed that how the goals of a person, of an individual, varies from one individual to the another individual. See, every individuals, they are not alike. They are different from each other. Their circumstances, their situation, their income, their condition, their family background, their financial background, social background, political background and economic background varies from individual to individual. So not only that, we have discussed about the countries, how the countries would be compared. When we are going to compare the different countries or different states, we can see that different countries, they have different circumstances, different situations, and the different lifestyle of the people. And when we talk about the history of the different country, that also varies from country to country or nation to nation. There are many countries who are having a different form of government, whereas the other different form like monarchy would be there, or a dictatorship would be there, or the federalism would be there, or a democracy would be there. Some people are following the federalism, or some people are following a unitary form of government, parliamentary form of government, presidential form of government. So we have different, politically we can see that the countries, they vary from individual to individual and from one to another. Students, when we talk about the countries, so countries can be basically classified as developing countries, underdeveloped countries, or advanced countries, highly all the developed country may have all that facilities or the best quality facilities and the infrastructure and development, scientific development, technological development, institutional development may vary from one country to the another country. So we have, like individuals, they have different goals. Same manner, the different countries also have different goals. So when we are going to before discussing about the comparison of the different countries, so students, suppose if we take an example, there is a competition of debate is going on, and there are 10 students are participating into it, and everybody has given their best. But despite that also, we know that there must be somebody who has really been very good, the best in the competition. Or we take out the positions on different bases. What? The fluency, the content, the confidence of a child, clarity, how his speech was there, his presentation, his skill, his fluency. So there are different parameters to find out the result, to get the best result. So same manner, every country has different aspects and other basic structures through which the countries, they are also compared. See student, in the last video you must have seen the last slide where you can see that a huge building, a multi-story building was shown, and near to that multi-story building, this slum area was there. What that multi-story buildings on the industries that they do, they dump the toxic waste nearby the slum area. Okay, and the people living in the slum area, they really suffer with so many diseases, nausea, skin rashes, and dehydration, and the breathing problem, and there was a lot of poisoning, food poisoning due to the nausea and the skin problem the people suffered who were living in the slum area. So that example shows that how the development for one section of the people becomes destructive for the other section of the people. We have seen that the multi-story people or the industrialists, they have made the production, they have earned their livelihood, they are living in the posh areas of the cities and in the country, and whatever waste that they had, because that has to be properly composed, and for proper measures to be taken to get the toxic waste. That should not be dumped near the rivers, that should not be dumped near the coastal areas or near the water bodies or to the slum areas where the human beings, the people are, residential people, the residential houses are there. But they have dumped it. So what would be the development for them? So the people who have dumped, they are not suffering with all those problems or diseases, whereas where it is dumped, that is low-lying people are living there, low-income group people are living there, slum area is there, poorer section of the people are living there, but they are suffering. Those people really suffered because of the toxic waste dumped nearby the slum regions or nearby the water bodies. So same manner, every country has different goals. Their comparison, when we are going to compare it, we have different criteria to develop the different and compare the different countries. To compare the different countries, we need to understand that what are their condition, what is their historical, economic, social background, how far they have acquired, from when they have acquired the democracy, and when they were free from the clutches of the monarchy. All such situations are needed to be undertake undertaken so that we can understand the problems of the people. So students, you can see there is a slide in front of you. You can see that when basically we are talking about the Adam Smith, the father of the modern economics, he says that money really plays a very important role, and in the same manner, the materialistic things which can be measured, they are really important. Those components are really important for the development of a country. So you can see here the comparison between the countries is done through the total income, and we have seen that there are different aspects are there. When we are going to talk about the different aspects and the percentage of the land and the forest, how water bodies, what are conditions available there, that we people are going to discuss in the further slide. Students, what are the useful ways to compare the different countries? See, mainly talking about the income of a country, we cannot measure it. We cannot compare only through the income of a country. When we are going to talk about only the income, because everybody's income will not be same, definitely there is a comparison between the maybe an individual or maybe a country. But the conditions that we need to find out in that context, that really plays a very important role. Take an example, recent example that is going on. We know that if we talk about the population of the of America, United States of America, 34 crores, and if we talk about our population, 137 crores of people. Okay, so the number of the deaths due to the coronavirus and COVID-19, so or COVID-19, that may be more in America, whereas we people have a less. Whereas when we talk about the only the numbers, we are almost at the second position in the death toll, or at the affected people. But if we see the population, of different countries, Italy, you take United Kingdom, or the other countries, Israel, Australia, China, if we take that population, definitely our population, their population, we cannot easily compare it. Their population and our population would differ in great extent. So, what are the ways that we people have? You can see that population. Number 2, GDP or the per capita income. GDP or the per capita income. Trade balance. Human Development Index, HDI, Human Development Index. Demographic transition model. So these are the important aspects that we need to see, we need to study before studying the comparison of different countries in terms of development. So students, as we have already discussed that every country has an historical background. So when we talk about the historical background, India was colonized for more than 350 years, and we had a colonial rule, population. India was known to be a golden bird, but now when we talk about the income or the other aspects and the development procedure, our development is not as equal to the other countries, or when we compare it with the America or the France or any other country. So that means population really plays a very important role. So every country's quantity, we are talking about the quantitative population, quantity, we are talking about the number of population. So population really plays a very important role when we compare when we do the comparison in terms of development, which country would be more developed and advanced. Second way was there that we need to have a GDP, gross domestic product. GDP, gross domestic product. Whatever we people are producing, you know that we have three different sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary. So what all goods and services that we people are producing, so the final goods and services, we take it, we calculate it, and then the total income comes to us, and then we get the gross domestic product, the entire production that is made within a year, within a financial year. That production comes as gross domestic production, gross domestic products, we call it a gross domestic product. The third most important thing was trade balance. You can see the balance of trade, how we have balanced the trade. See, in class 9th, I hope you have studied about the favorable balance of trade, unfavorable balance of trade. Favorable is opposite of unfavorable. So when we talk about the unfavorable balance of trade, that means we are going in negative, okay, and negative aspect. Or when we talk about favorable, that means it is positive for our country. So when we talk about the balance of trade has to be favorable. So when we talk about the trade, we do export and we do import also. Export and import. If our country's export is more and import is less, then favorable. We have earned the more of the foreign exchange. Yes. And if your trade, in terms of trade, if your import is more from the other countries and you are sending less of goods to the other, export is less, then if we subtract it, so the difference between the export and import is known as balance of trade. It may be negative also, it may be positive also. It may be favorable or you can call it an unfavorable. So balance of trade really plays a very important role for countries' development. See students, the previous component was the GDP. If we have more of the production, fine. And our population is also very high. So whatever we people are producing within the country, that is already consumed by the people. The more of the consumption, if more of the consumption would be there, then export would not take place, and more of the requirement, and we'll have more of the import, then the balance of trade would not be as high as of the other country, because their population might be less, so their consumption would be less, but their production might be higher. Our production is higher, but our population is high. Due to that, the majority of the output that we people are having in a country, producing in a country, that is consumed by the people living in a country. Okay, so definitely the production, more of the production is become ineffective when we are talking about the balance of trade. So balance of trade has to be positive. It's not in deficit. Okay, so here you can see that the another important topic that we people were talking about, Human Development Index. In Human Development Index, how human beings are developing. Okay, and when the person is developing in all the aspects, and he may be living a very good life, educationally is good, earning very good, definitely his index would be higher. Yes, you can see that HDI, Human Development Index. It measures in a long term. Okay, see, when we talk about the long term education, you cannot acquire in 1 year or 2 years. You have to, it is a long span of time. You keep acquiring the knowledge, you keep acquiring the education and different levels. The people who have more of the education, definitely they get better jobs, better opportunities, and it leads to higher income. And when if they have a higher income, definitely their lifestyle, their health condition, their nutritional diet would definitely be very good. So that it means that if your education is good, definitely your health would be good, your knowledge, you have an excess of knowledge, and you are living a decent standard living. You are living a decent standard living. So you can see that we have different countries. There's a top scorer countries are there, and you can see the lifestyle of the people, that is comparison of the people according to the population. So when we take when we have an index, according to that ranking is given to different countries of all the different countries. And who gives this ranking, that will we will study in the further classes. UNDP, United Nation Development Programs are there, and these United Nations, this is an organization, universal organization, which gives a ranking on the keeping all these aspects in mind, and then they give a ranking to the different countries. So you can see that India stands on 130th rank, whereas you can see that altogether the United Nations, we have under the banner of United Nations, we have around 189 countries. Out of 189 countries, you can see that India stands on 130th position in the HDI. According to the HDI ranking, it's there. Okay, you can see that we have 189 countries for which HDI is calculated. The countries who have really very good above this 59 ranking, they are really very good and very high, or they are maybe a developed and advanced countries. Medium countries up to the rank of 92, and below that you can see that we have so many other countries. So very high countries, these many number of countries. So 59 countries have a very good HDI. And in the medium we have 92 countries are there, and the low countries where all these aspects and the standard of living of the people is not very good, like Bangladesh, if you go, Nepal, if you go, in the other countries if you go, their HDI may not be as good as compared to these medium and the other countries. Basic infrastructure, basically infrastructure we talk about. So we have, okay, so altogether 189 countries. If we are going to calculate it, 8 into 9 and 9, 189, 5, 9, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18, 1 carry. So 189 countries are there in the ranking system, and we, India stands on the 130th position. See student, one of the another useful method or a way to compare the country was demography. Class 9th you have studied in the chapter population chapter, you have studied about the demography. Demography is the study of population. What type of population you have in your country. We have studied about the pyramid also in the last class 9th last chapter. Every country has a different parameter, the pyramids of the country. When we talking about the demography and transitional model, so you can see that what type of population you have, whether you have more number of children, working class, aged group. Have you do you remember that? Yes. Maybe in India, if we have more number of children, then working group, working class, up to the age of 14 years, you know that we consider children, and from that to 68 we consider as a working force, and after that you can see that we have an aged group, okay, old aged group. So definitely the children, they don't work, The aged section of the people, they also don't work for the country. They don't contribute much for the country. So when they are not contributing, definitely the national income is not increasing. Only the working class, they are contributing and they are working for the country. So you can see that demographic structure that we people have, and every year there is a natural increase in the population. Every year there is a growth, natural growth. We can call it a natural growth or a natural increase rate that we have in the percentage. And you can see that initially they don't earn, only the second stage the people they earn, and there is a declining state. So every country has, you can see that what stage 1 says, birth rate, death rate, if would be higher, then the people would definitely have the, will not have more of the working force. And if your demographic pyramid says, if you have more number of children, majority of 50% of the population, their children up to the age of 14 years, working class is almost a 20 or 30%, and then the aged group. Okay, so that means education and health really matters. Education and health really matters. If more of the education and educated people, definitely there would be a control in the birth rate. Birth rate would be there. A complete people will not have the cricket team. Okay, whereas they are going to have either one child or two child. You can see that in China there is a one child policy. Okay, India was trying to have a comprehension population policy, comprehension planning was done, but it was not very effective in India. So demographic transition model really plays a very important role in development. If we have more of the educated people, educated and good institutions, educated more of the highly educated people, definitely they would be working for the, contributing for the national income of a country or the GDP. So you student, these these ways really plays a very important role. So population, balance of trade, HDI, demographic structure, and the second was the GDP of a country. Okay, really plays a very important role. So where in NC students, the basic important of this chapter, we have taken the income as the component. Income really plays a very important role, and with the help of the income we can easily measure the which countries are more developed. So how we are going to do that? You can see that we cannot take the national income to compare, because the national income, their other expenses are also there. Government do other infrastructural development. So when we talk about, see how we are going to compare it, total income is not such useful measure. So to take out the, find out how much the average, will take out the per capita income. Per capita income means per person income. How we will calculate it? See, we have a total population. We know the number of people living in a country. We know how much they are earning. Okay. So we add up all the income of the people living in a country, all those who are earning. There may be many people, females or children, they may not be earning, aged section may not be earning. So all those people who are earning, okay, that we are going to calculate, okay, and then we will divide that number with the population, total population, whether children, aged, physically challenged, women, females, males, everybody. Total income of the country divided with the total number of population. Okay, then when we are going to divide this, we will get the average income. Average income of per person in a country, we will get the average income. So the average income is also known as per capita income. Average income is also known as per capita income. Students, suppose there are, in the same example I'll give it to you. Suppose we have 10 students in the class, okay, and we have taken an eco test, and they have scored different marks. Some students have got 0 also, some has got 10 out of 10 also, some may be 5, some may be 9, some may be 8 or 6 or 3 or 2 or 1. We're going to add up all that, okay. After adding that, we'll divide it by 10 because total population was 10 in the class, so we are going to divide it with the 10, okay. So whatever number that we will get, that would be the average marks of the eco test. That would be the average marks of the eco test. So average income is also known as per capita income. So students, in the per capita income, you can see that we have different things. Per capita income can be considered as important, but in actual terms, the money that we have divided, that may not be appropriate and may not give you the clear picture of the country. But yes, distinction can be done whether they are developed countries, underdeveloped countries, or rich countries, or the poor countries. This distinction can be easily done, but to know the standard of the people, the lifestyle of the people, this cannot be easily done with the help of per capita income. So when we talk about the per capita income, students, you can see that we have different surveys are taken by the World Bank. You can see that World Bank has done a survey, and they have calculated how we are going to have, and the living standard of the people, lifestyle of the people, condition where they are living and their circumstances. On that basis, you can see that how the World Development Report that is brought by the World Bank, this is the criteria used to classify the different countries. So countries, on the basis of the per capita income, they are divided. Okay, students, you can see that US dollar. See, we have taken this census 2017. We have taken the census of 2017, and according to 2017's, the per capita income of a country, if the per capita income of a country is 12,056 per annum US dollar or above, it may be above. This is the bottom. This is the bottom line. If a per person, when we divide the population with the income, when we divide the income with the population, then we get the per capita income, that is average income. If the average income, this is in US dollar, okay, if the per capita income of a person is per person is this or above this, then you can call those countries as rich countries. They are rich countries. But if the per capita income is this much, 955 or less, bottom, because we are looking to the bottom one, $955 if you have, okay, earning per annum. See students, we are talking about per annum, not per month, per annum, in a year. Then this or below this, then those countries are low income countries. Okay, so there must be between this to this, there must be some countries whose per capita income would be between this. They would be middle income countries. They would be middle income countries. Okay. Now, when we talk about, but they are low middle countries. Okay. Now you can see that when we talk about India, India falls into the category of low middle. We are not rich, we are not low also, but we are in that middle. दोनों के बीच में है. Low middle income countries, because its per capita income in 2017 was just 1820 per annum. This is the per capita income per annum US dollar of India. And there are many Middle East countries are there. They fall into the rich countries. They have huge deposits of the mineral oil. So they come under the developed countries. They are generally called as developed countries. They are rich countries. Because they are not in this banner, they may not be reported with the HDI, or they are not under the banner of the World Bank. So they have, it has been excluded. You can see that excluded. Okay. Countries of Middle East and certain other small countries are generally called as they are developed countries. They have not, these countries are not classified under rich country or a low income countries. They are not being divided on the basis of the income. Okay, but they are developed, they are advanced, so they are known as developed countries. So students, we know that rich countries, low income countries. So India falls between these two. So we are low middle income countries. We fall into low middle income countries. Students, I have told you that we have to take out the per capita income. Or we have to take out the average income. Average income is also known as per capita income. So you can see that, suppose I have given you this chart, and we have taken a comparison between two countries, country A and country B. Fine, students? Now, when we take the comparison between these two countries, so you can see that we have a 5 population. 5 people are there. We have 5 people. Okay. And we have shown that country A, these 5 people, they have their income. Can you see that? They have an income. Okay. Family A has an income. Family 2, family 3rd family, 4th family and 5th family. How much it will come? We'll calculate it. Okay. And how much it will come? We'll calculate it. Okay. And if you really need to understand, we'll calculate it in the other slide. You can see that. You can see here country A and this is country B. Country A, this is a scene of country A and this is country B. You can see that here almost every family, they have almost equal figures, more or less equal figures. But in country B, you can see that 500 earning 500, 500, 500, and one is an ultra rich, extremely rich man in a country. He has all that thing that he expects, and you can see here. So the income distribution of an income is not as equitable that we expect. See, when we talk about a per capita income, then the average income cannot be considered, is the right criteria to judge a country. You can see that when we are going to divide this population, this is all equal and this is also almost a 50,000 it would come, I think. It would come 50,000 something. Okay, this would also come 50,000. Now these both the countries have equal income. Okay, and we have taken the 5 families only. And when we are going to divide it, both the countries, their average would come same, would be same. If 50,000 would be divided by 5, 5 tens are 50, 10,000. This also 10,000, this also 10,000. But you can see that the person who is earning 500 rupees, his condition, his livelihood condition cannot be compared with anybody like this, or cannot be compared with him. Or the people who are earning this much of rupees cannot be compared with this person. His living condition, the living condition of these people will not be good. They may not be getting the basic facility. They may not be able to get the proper diet. They may not be able to get 2 square meal in a day. Forget about education, health, entertainment and other facilities. They may not be able to get even the basic diet. They may be dying of hunger. Subsistence crisis would be there. But then also, when we take the average income, so the World Bank shows that, okay, country A also has 10,000 as an average income. Country B also has a 10,000 an average income. So both the countries are equal. How can you say a person earning a 10,000, almost a 10,000, you can see that just 500 figure less here, almost there. Condition, country A has a better condition. They are living in a better condition. A slightly ups and downs would be there in that, but their living standard would almost be equal. But how you can compare this country? But their average income that is taken by the World Bank, that 10,000 is an average income. That is equally good country. Basic infrastructure would be there and the other facilities. Calculation we have done here, students. Total income of the country. Suppose we have 5 people. Population 5. We have calculated the income of these people. There are 5. Suppose 5 people are there in a country. 50 and we divided. One person's income is 10,000. This is an average, or you can call it a per capita income. In country B also, there are 4 people who earn only 500 rupees. There's one person who is extremely rich. This person cannot be compared with these people also. His life is 5 times better than these people's life. Or his life is 100 times, you can say, that better than these people. But the total income of a country is this much, and the population, we divided this average. So students, income cannot be the right criteria to judge the development of a country. There are other factors are also there, other parameters, other components would also be there, should be there, so that we can compare the countries. I may be living in an area where all the pollution-free environment, house is good, basic infrastructure is available, schools are available, and the conditions are very good. Health institutions are also there, and a better life. A person, thief, okay, may be living in an area, slum area. His income would be almost as same. Living in the slum, population conditions not good, proper drainage is not there, or any other person living. his income is also as equal as my income. But the area where he is living, he may not be getting all such facilities that I am getting it. So there are other parameters are also plays very important role in comparing the countries. Only comparison with the income is not a right criteria, students. So students, see the assignment. Solve these questions. And you can solve, I've already told you in the history, that same notebook. History and eco will be in the same. And there are few students who are writing all the questions together and sending all the answers together. No. You know my pattern, how I need the notebook, what would be the pattern for doing the question answers. Write the question, then answer. Then leave a line, then write the question and then answer. So that it becomes easy for me also to check, because I cannot memorize all the questions when you send the answers. And when I say, okay, it is good, it is right, you have done it. Sometimes it happens that in place of the second question, you have written the fourth answer or a fifth answer. Okay? Then it becomes very confusing. So students, complete this. Till then, stay safe and be happy and keep learning.